I think, Apple's still, for better or for worse, because quite honestly, I'm sure most of us wish we could just shut up about the stock. But I mean, it's still going to be a big story for 2013. I mean, so much of what's happened in the fourth quarter of 2012 is really, technical, as Corey kind of alluded to, that it has a lot to do with, I was looking at the numbers recently on Bloomberg, something like 14 of the 50 largest hedge funds had Apple recently as their single largest holding. And most of those hedge funds, having had a weak 2012 overall, are now awfully eager to get that off their books, so they don't want to show it in the Q4 numbers. So a lot of what you're seeing in terms of the end of the year selling, everybody's coming up with great explanations, but most of them have nothing to do with what's happening. This has to do with people getting it off their books, so they don't have to show it.
Right.
And so in 2013, it's going to go back to the numbers again. The stock looks really cheap. You probably have at least one major product cycle ahead of you. And by 2015, maybe the story's over, but it isn't over in 2013.
Okay, so he still sees a rally ahead. Nick, what about you?
For Apple?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I think that people are going to continue to be a little skeptical of Apple. I think so much for this company hinges on the Apple TV. I mean, clearly they can iterate.
TV.
Clearly they can make the iPad 10% better, 20% better every year. They can do the same thing with the phone. But everybody's catching up on those product lines, and I think the people view that the market's getting much more competitive. And if Apple wants to be Apple, the great, glorious, greatest company in the world, they've got to invent something new, and they've got a shot with the TV, but it's hard to make a better TV, so we'll see.
Well, Paul, we were showing while you were talking your predictions for 2013, or some of what your assessments are for 2013. I want to show them again and just talk about one in particular, which is social media. Who are the winners and the losers going to be? And you say Facebook looks more troubled, but you see others like Twitter, Instagram perhaps taking off in 2013.
Yeah, I mean, that's not exactly a bold prediction, I guess, because, it seems sort of obvious in some sense that, Facebook has struggled with the transition to mobile. It's got all kinds of issues with respect to, and this has been a long-standing problem. They're completely tone deaf when it comes to privacy issues, and, this goes right to the top of the organization. And all of this has meant that, the company has not as many, I should say, staunch fans as it once did, and in social media that matters a lot, especially when you're in transition to mobile. And as a result, some of the mobile-first platforms like Instagram, granted now, in a different situation now with respect to Facebook, and also Twitter, all look much stronger. And if you talk to sort of younger cohorts of consumers, more and more of them are gravitating to these platforms, if for no other reason than their parents are on Facebook.
That's right, and that makes it very uncool. Nick, we also have your predictions for 2013, which I thought were really quite interesting. You said at least one big tech company is likely to go bankrupt in 2013. Who are you talking about here?
Well, my guesses are RIM and Nokia are the leading contenders. I mean, bankrupt or sold for scrap. I mean, both have had a lot of problems. Both are huge, giant companies. Both have a shot. People are getting excited about RIM's new operating system. It's, the stock has rallied, but I think there's going to be, I think there's going to be one yard sale, as they say.
And you wouldn't disagree, Paul?
No, I mean, look at the latest IDC numbers on developer interest in the RIM platform. They're just bouncing along at zero. It's pretty remarkable. You're buying this thing essentially as a tool to consume batteries. I mean, it's not to run apps.